Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video to any of you guys having a car with automatic transmission and you want to know what are the symptoms of bad automatic transmission and how sometimes guys, okay, you can fix automatic transmission really cheap, okay? And we'll explain common mistake that can lead to actually failing automatic transmission. All that will be covered in this video today. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission at the shop is to save as much money as we can. All we need guys in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep making these absolutely free videos for you. If you need to buy any parts, tools for a good price and quick shipping, save quite a bit of money, check out the link in the description of the video below. That's where we get all our tools and supplies from. So with that being said, we have that automatic transmission completely taken apart here so we can show you how it functions, what can go wrong and the symptoms of bad transmission. Number one, we have the transmission fluid drained. And you can see guys, okay, that transmission fluid, if I stir it, okay, you will notice the black swirls, okay, in the transmission. These black swirls, that's actually guys contamination from the clutches in the transmission because they wear out, you have moving parts, all that wears out and it's being washed by the transmission fluid. Eventually it will contaminate it, and if you don't change it often enough, you develop quite a bit of deposits in the transmission, in the shifting solenoids. That's what regulates your transmission, in the valve body, which is super important as well. Deposits can build in the valve body and eventually it can start malfunctioning. The old fluid will not be lubricating correctly as well and it can start wear things out too, such as valve body, clutches, bearings, moving parts. So it's always recommended to change your transmission oil, transmission fluid. We have a special video that explains how often to change the transmission fluid on a car and why you may need to change it up to 3 times guys. Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Make sure you stay tuned in and we'll explain why you may need to change the transmission fluid up to 3 times. We remove the oil pan and drain the transmission fluid, then we remove the valve body with the shifting solenoids, and here you have the clutches, output, input, speed sensors. You can see the torque converter is in the bell housing. So what are the symptoms of bad transmission guys? Number one, okay, transmission that shifts hard or kicks. That can be caused by having the wrong type of transmission fluid. Common mistake, always use original fluid. I'll put the link in the description of the video below where you can get it from. Number two, make sure the fluid level is correct. Make sure it's not too little or too much, that will affect it as well. Number three, make sure the fluid is actually new. Make sure that it's not worn fluid. Another thing, it could be guys, okay, bad shifting solenoid that does that. For instance, that's a 6-speed transmission, but it has 8 solenoids for different gears. As you can see right here, for instance, this is line pressure solenoid, clutch A, B, OD, UD, this is 3rd, 5th and reverse gear, 2nd and 6th. This is the torque converter. If one of those doesn't work correctly, you may experience hard shifting. Okay, you may experience kicking and slipping as well. Slipping is another thing of bad transmission. The same thing can be caused by bad valve body guys. Also, slipping can be caused by worn clutches as well. Now, if the clutches are worn, there is no way to fix it. I mean, temporarily you can use that additive and it will give you a few more thousand miles, but eventually you'll need to replace them. Now, something else guys. You may experience, okay, having shudder, transmission vibration, shaking. That can be caused by a bad torque converter, which is part of the automatic transmission. Those are the most common symptoms of bad transmission. Now, why you need to change the transmission fluid sometimes when you change fluid up to 3 times? First, because when you drain transmission fluid, you get only about 50 to 60% of the transmission fluid out, and as a result, you will still have about 40% that's old fluid there. You put new fluid, always use original fluid guys. That's a common mistake people make. Use original fluid, that's my advice. Drive it for 100 miles and you may notice sometimes even the car will start shifting funny. Again, make sure you check the transmission level correctly. But that new fluid can actually break deposits loose from valve body, solenoids, anywhere else. And that's why guys, okay, it may be shifting a little bit funny, so you need to drain it again, change it 2 more times, okay, and eventually you will change about 90% of the fluid and you will clean the deposits and all that stuff as well. Another thing, you may have your transmission stuck in gear. Let's say it gets only to 2nd gear, doesn't want to go more. It could be bad transmission solenoid. In some cases it could be bad clutch, but more often will be bad transmission solenoid. All we have to do in that case is replace the solenoid, which is very inexpensive. We have a special video that explains how to replace transmission solenoid. Also, we have a video that explains how to test and clean transmission solenoids as well, so make sure you check it out. Hopefully guys, the video will be helpful to any of you needing help with that. Thank you for watching and see you next time.